Welcome to Malibu, California, where tonight the nation's last unbeaten team looks to ride the winning wave against conference rival Pepperdine.
Last one, fellas, physical fight. Physical fight. If we can play everybody in here, because we're fighting our butts off, we're throwing our bodies around, we're taking charges, okay, we're smashing up, and we just happen to get a foul, I'm gonna be the first one up because we're being physical. Okay, we gotta be intelligent, but we're being physical. All right, let's go to work. Go ahead.
Gonzaga sitting at number 3 in the AP top 10, but this week they have seen teams around them falter. Villanova, Kansas, Kentucky all taking losses this week. And as we welcome you inside the Firestone Fieldhouse here in Malibu, California, alongside Adrian Brech, I'm Eric Rothman, and Adrian, Gonzaga's at number 3 right now. With a win tonight, do they move to number 1 in your opinion?
Absolutely. They put themselves in that position because they've won basketball games. When you talk about a team that has 4 wins against the BPI top 25, 3 wins at 3-0 against the top RPI top 25, they put themselves in that position, and they're still hungry.
Great backcourt battle in this one. Some scoring guards, Nigel Williams-Goss for Gonzaga and Lamont Murray Jr. leading the West Coast Conference for Pepperdine.
Flat out, Nigel Williams-Goss, his coach Mark Few said he's the best leader he's ever had because he has mastered the when to call his number, when to throw it inside. And Lamont Murray is just like the son of a gunner. He has the DNA to score baskets. He won't be intimidated by this moment, by this stage. He's going to need some help, but he's got to go for more than 20 in this game.
Gonzaga 184 straight minutes and counting without trailing in a basketball game. That's 9 straight halves. They've rattled off 21 wins in a row. All-time versus Pepperdine, 52-31. The last time Pepperdine won was January 18th, 2002. Adrian, what does Pepperdine need to do here tonight?
They don't have a large margin of error, and for Coach Marty Wilson, he said, we can't give Shemek Karnowski deep post touches and also cut off transition baskets. So they've got to be able to defend right there inside and at the three-point line.
Early foul as Shemek Karnowski was getting the feed. Mark Few in his 18th season with Gonzaga, an 81% winning percentage, and he's taken his team to the NCAA tournament every single year since he's been head coach, and 1 year as an assistant before that. And they look to be heading there with a vengeance this season as they miss their first field goal of the game. Gonzaga in the dark blue and Pepperdine in the orange. Pepperdine dealing with injuries this season, missing Amadi Udini, projected starter and one of the best all-around defensive players for Marty Wilson's squad. Tore his ACL. Only played 6 games before going down with that injury as Williams the block and Nigel Goss tracks down the loose ball.
This is a key to the game for the Zags. They want to play fast. Already, they get the ball up with 27 seconds left on the shot clock to get a high possession shot.
Nice floater by Nigel Williams-Goss. Adrian, this is a league that has a lot of good scoring point guards and guards. Nigel Williams-Goss is one of them, but because it's such a balanced team, he's not even in the top 10 in scoring for the conference.
Well, they don't need him for that, but he has mastered the game of decision making. I like what I see with him when he comes down and makes plays like that, throwing it in the post.
Good seal by Shemek Karnowski. He averages 12.6 boards a game.
Already you saw 2 baskets inside the paint. And this is a focused Gonzaga team. They know they're the Goliath. They know they're the heavy favorite, but they come out starting their game from the defense, trying to get transition to the offense.
Nolan Taylor, the big-bodied freshman, took too many steps, turnover on the Waves.
Now, Williams-Goss inside the lane, comfortable, make the adjustments, and then Karnowski throwing it inside. Back-to-back baskets.
And Karnowski again getting inside, and it's going to be a long night for Pepperdine if they let Shemek Karnowski get position.
Well, you don't have the body type. You look at a man mountain there, 7'1", 300 pounds, and he gets deep post touches. Taylor's 260 pounds. He's 300 pounds.
Fast start for Gonzaga, looking to take over that #1 ranking for the first time since March of 2013. Another turnover by the Waves. They get it right back. Elijah Lee with the pickpocket. Here's their leading scorer, Lamont Murray. Offensive rebound and a kick out. Basket's just not falling here for the Waves in the first couple minutes. Matthews transition three, not there. Good effort by the Waves, and Lamont Murray Jr. wants to run it.
You can feel the excitement, the home crowd. Pepperdine wants to have something to celebrate. They know this is a big stage and a big team. They want to put a blemish on that loss column for Gonzaga.
What a statement it would be here on a national stage at home, as Nolan Taylor has missed his first couple field goals, and the Waves are still scoreless.
One thing that's been impressive about Gonzaga, on a missed shot or a make, they're pushing it right there. You're just bulldozing.
And that's what the Waves hope to do, is get Karnowski in foul trouble.
Well, that's a dislodge off the dribble. Just throwing his shoulder down and getting himself deep post touches.
Sixth season for head coach Marty Wilson. He was a former player in the 80s, was an assistant coach for a long time, and has been with this program for 6 seasons and really trying to turn things around. He told us before this game, if it weren't for injuries, we would be a much more consistent basketball team. It's been an up and down road so far, 6-15 the record, and yet to score here tonight against the number 3 team in the country.
Yeah, in preseason, Pose had them a lot in top 4 teams, so they're missing a lot of firepower.
Elijah Lee, the freshman out of Houston, gets the first bucket of the game for Pepperdine.
Good decision, pulling up, stopping and popping, under control. His last 7 games, he's done a better job of managing the team as a freshman.
Karnowski, too easy.
You're going to double team, and ultimately as well, look for him to go to a zone, because you can't give the big fella, Karnowski, a shot 2 feet from the basket.
They've got a freshman on it. How tough is that as a freshman to go up against the 5th-year senior Karnowski?
Well, you don't want to leave the 3-point shooters. Matthews has yet to take a shot.
Foul underneath on Pepperdine on Gonzaga will send Pepperdine to the line. Gonzaga undefeated and up early.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Your link to what's next.
Well, Gonzaga might be considered a mid-major, but they have not shied away from taking on the power conference teams. Wins against Florida, Iowa State, Arizona, Washington, and Tennessee. All big-name schools, all big-time wins for this Bulldogs program that's now 21-0. And Adrian, it's impressive what they've done in conference, but it's the first year in their program's history that they went undefeated in non-conference play as well.
That's a great point. They've already established something in the celebrated Mark Few era. The first team, just like you said, to go undefeated 10-0. Now they've been building it moment by moment, piece by piece, and they're off to a fast start in this game.
Pepperdine just 1 of 8 from the floor. Gonzaga, best in the nation against the top 25 in BPI, 4-0. And out of the break, Pepperdine, Chris Reyes is at the line. Transfer from Utah.
Well, Eric, you hear so much about should they be number 1, but they're doing what they're supposed to do against teams they're heavily favored against. Their scoring margin is over 21 points a game.
And you have to imagine Coach Few and his team know not to put too much stock in the rankings, because they've been high seeds before. They've never made it to a Final Four.
He said, let's not talk about it till the end of February. So he's lowering expectations, but that's a good start for Reyes. They need him to be an impact player. He can get you 20 and 10.
Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch here with you in Malibu. Good pick and roll inside. Jonathan Williams with the left hand.
Good spacing. That was too soft defensively when Perkins is able to pick them apart on the soft pick and roll. Got to tighten that up. Points in the paint has been all their scoring right now.
Gonzaga's made 5 of their first 8 field goal attempts.
This is where Lamont Murray loves to come off the screen and roll. He can catch it and elevate. Right there's his bread and butter.
Just bobbled it so didn't get a chance to turn and shoot. Good perimeter defense by the Zags. Jeremy Major, the school's all-time leader in assists, take that shot. Gonzaga still up by 6.
That was a classy moment before the game, celebrating Jeremy. Acknowledged before the crowd as the all-time leading scorer.
Alley-oop, Nigel Williams-Goss to the freshman, Zach Collins.
If you see a shot chart right now, everything has been under 15 feet. Pepperdine has got to get resilient and get stingy about guarding their paint.
Perkins with the swipe went out of bounds off the knee of Elijah Lee. Gonzaga basketball.
Watch under control. Nigel Williams-Goss looking, and then that's too easy, guys. You're not seeing that orange shirt deterring him from getting inside the lane. These possessions have been too soft right now.
How important is it for Coach Few down the stretch in the tournament to have two different type 7-footers, as we see the three-pointer there by Josh Perkins, to have two different big men, Karnowski and Zach Collins?
I like where you're going with that. You can play different styles. So when they go to half court and they play a team like a Wisconsin or Virginia, you can grind it out with a battering ram in Karnowski.
Good slip on the inside by redshirt sophomore Ryan Keenan.
Now let's see if this will get Pepperdine going defensively.
Gonzaga shooting 70% from the floor, nearly 7 minutes into this first half. Goss goes right around the freshman Elijah Lee.
Well, that's just being 6'3", going against 6'1" inside the paint. But one thing about the Zags, you can't speed them up. They play with so much poise, even on the road in a hostile environment.
11-4 run for Gonzaga, up 17-6. Good ball movement. As both Adrian and I had the same idea, but it's another turnover on the Waves.
Now watch the screen and roll. Nigel Williams-Goss has been a breath of fresh air. His coach Mark Few, as we said in the open, said he's the best leader he's ever had.
How impressive is that?
Well,
I was a little taken aback when
like
Coach Few said
Dan
that.
Dick Gow, and you had Pargo, and all of them have had tremendous success. Blow by.
Perkins, acceleration into the lane, and Perkins has 5.
Let's see if Coach Wilson will change up the defense and go zone, give him a different look.
11-2 run now for the Zags. They made their last 5 shots. Jeremy Major, he's known for the assists, but he's putting up some quality shots here in the first half.
Speed and quickness. He's missing his backcourt mate, Udini, who went down with Achilles heel and had to play off the ball. Now he's the point guard. But for him to be an all-time leader and still can score, he's been an impressive player.
Collins with 10 on the shot clock, 6 straight field goals for the Zags.
Well, you're looking at a team that's comfortable, they're confident, they put the work in, they've been out, and success feels good. So they put the work in mentally, and now you're seeing the result. It's been like low-lying fruit right now with those easy baskets.
Lamont Murray Jr. just hasn't got a great look in this game so far, as Williams-Goss has been all over him. So it's been left to Major to handle the backcourt duties, and he turns it over there. Perkins, good head fake, dump off to Collins, and 1.
Excellent hands in traffic. When you're in position to possibly be the #1 team, what do you want to do? You want to get the ball inside to your big playmakers. Strong finish. Solid point guard play. Frank Mason, who controls the game. Then you have playmakers, and then Bill Self as well had his team mentally prepared to come out. That was a huge win and might jumpstart the second half of their season.
Big 12 SEC Challenge, 5 wins apiece. So let's say we do it again next year.
Something to talk about. It's good for basketball. Basketball junkies. We just want to see basketball.
We got some basketball in Malibu, and Gonzaga is shooting 79% from the floor. They've made their last 6 field goals, and the freshman Zach Collins at the free throw line.
Well, you talk about 16 points in the paint and also 9 points off of 4 turnovers. So that's the game plan for Mark Few. He wanted to be aggressive and hit Pepperdine first. So far, they've done it.
16-4 run right now for the Zags. No offense to speak of on 3 of 11 shooting for Pepperdine. Whistle as Jonathan Allen hits the deck, the senior from Nashville. A foul on Gonzaga will be a inbound underneath.
Murray has to get a touch. He's 0 for 3, but he scores so easily. Gonzaga's done a great job of not letting him get inside the paint for the 15-footer.
Jordan Matthews is guarding him right now. Murray junior, number 30 in orange. Nigel Williams-Goss did a great job on him before he took a seat on the Gonzaga bench. 6 on the shot clock. Chris Reyes.
He's effective. Missed that shot, but he's effective. He can score with 2 feet inside the paint.
Williams-Goss actually still in there. He was hiding. Couldn't handle that transition pass. Jeremy Major pulls up for 3.
Gonzaga will take that as long as it's not Lamont Murray Jr.
Collins fouled again. And you're right, because it takes Pepperdine out of what they want to do, which is Major feeding Murray rather than the other way around.
Exactly, but it's a good job by Williams-Goss pushing him out of scoring possession. And also now Jordan Matthews coming in. When you're denying him, the offense looks in another direction, and they have somebody else outside of a top leading scorer scoring the basketball.
Collins at the line as a freshman. You've said it before, Adrian, you think that Zach Collins might be Gonzaga's best pro prospect this season.
Well, I've talked to scouts. I'm sitting talking with them in the arena. They like that he can guard a pick and roll out at the 3-point line. He's got a body at 7 feet that can carry 250 pounds. Right now he's 230 pounds, soft hands, and he's got a high ceiling.
And it's a luxury for Coach Few with Shemek Karnowski only having to play Collins 17 minutes a game as a freshman, kind of ease him into big-time basketball. The foul underneath as Williams-Goss was out of position, got called for the foul.
I like where they had to look for Murray inside the paint. He reminds me of a young Carmelo Anthony. I know he scores like his dad, but a young Carmelo when he was in Denver, he could score from 4 areas on the court. 3-point line, transition, free throw line, and posting up.
The Murray name, of course, very well known here in the Los Angeles area. Murray Jr. here at Pepperdine. His dad, longtime member of the Los Angeles Clippers. Karnowski, double, triple pump, and a finish.
I'm surprised that the Waves have not double-teamed him yet. He's 8 for 8. Usually if he gets double-teamed, he's looking for a 3-point shooter, but he hasn't had to pass it because he's 4 for 4.
Williams-Goss caught again. All over Murray, got called for the foul. Our first NBA Sunday Showcase game of the season on ABC, presented by Verizon Go 90. Should be a great one. LeBron and the Cavs host Russell Westbrook in OKC at 3:30 Eastern. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown with Sage and Jalen, presented by Straight Talk Wireless at 3, and also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. The first bucket of the night for the West Coast Conference leading scorer, Lamont Murray Jr.
Wired to score, high percentage shot, elevating over the 7-foot Collins. That's a good touch.
Coach Marty Wilson says he can score a million different ways.
I'm telling you, he reminds me not so much of his dad who was wired to score, but also a young Carmelo.
10 on the shot clock. Karnowski fading, tough shot.
Better job bodying up by Taylor, pushing Karnowski out.
Now a foul on the loose ball will go against the Waves.
Now you're watching him work for a shot. Lamont Murray going over a double team. He has that ability, folks. He can score in traffic. Soft hands, good touch, and he's got the mindset the next play, so he won't be frustrated if he misses 2 or 3 shots.
His proud dad watching in the stands tonight. It's a good shake.
Yeah.
He looked like he could put on a jersey and get back in there.
Oh, he could score. He could score. Score easily, too.
Is it more impressive for you that Lamont Murray Jr. leading the West Coast Conference in points per game when really he's the only offensive threat for Pepperdine, so all the defenses are keyed in on him?
Well, I asked him who's somebody. This is a tough matchup again. No double team. I asked him who's somebody we should keep an eye on, and he lit up smiling and saying Chris Reyes. He loves him, wishes he had him for his entire career, with his ability to go from the 3-point line and also deep post touches. Good pass.
Taylor found the cutting Jonathan Allen. And a foul underneath on the Zags.
Yeah, Pepperdine runs a good offense. They spread the floor. They take good shots. What's gotten them right now is the defense. You look at Gonzaga, they're shooting 70%, and most of it has been points in the paint. They've got to give their offense a chance by getting some consistent stops. That was close. Almost backcourt violation.
On the midcourt line, under 9 minutes to play here in Pepperdine. Nolan Taylor, the freshman from mid-range, rebounded by Matthews.
We just talked about, was that a good shot? Absolutely. The ball was moving. You had Karnowski where you had some space. Just got to knock it down. Shoot it with confidence.
Perkins, the step back. Loose ball tracked down by Allen. Very young Pepperdine team.
You had a young fella with the ball right now. Elijah Lee is a freshman from Houston, and he's growing up on the job.
Jonathan Allen.
There's another freshman.
One of the few seniors gets it into another freshman. There's Lee cutting baseline, a turnover on the Waves. Gonzaga, a commanding 17-point lead on the road in Malibu. Well, you want to take the question there,
Oh
AB?
man, we worked together before cell phones with AK.
Taking a look at bracketology. Current #1 seeds Gonzaga now on the 1 line. Oregon just outside the 1 and 2, as you see. Kentucky, Florida State both taking losses. North Carolina lost today, so maybe some wiggle room there on the 2 line.
A microcosm of what I think the tournament is going to be like. I think some blue bloods and heavyweights are going to go down in the tournament, but I'm excited. This is what makes college basketball so unique. You only have to be good for 40 minutes in one game, not the NBA, a 7-game series. And oh, by the way, keep an eye on Georgetown. That's my sleeper pick as well in the tournament.
Alrighty. We'll mark it down. We'll see how you're doing at the end of March. Williams Goss, the floater.
Sorry to sound like a broken record, folks, if you're listening out there, but you've got to defend with the urgency.
18 points in the paint for Gonzaga. The entry passes have just been unencumbered. Nolan Taylor, the freshman, he's had some issues offensively and defensively, but when you're going up against a 5th-year senior like Shemek Karnowski, it's intimidating.
Well, I like his game. He's wired to score. He's like Stacey Davis type, that big body. Also, when you talk about Big Baby Davis, remember he can score, so he's going to continue to look for his offense.
Reset with 8 on the shot clock for Pepperdine. 3 to shoot for Major. Good defense by Perkins.
Challenge shot. That was good defense. Perkins didn't get out of balance where he couldn't contest the shot.
Now whistle on transition. Stone Fieldhouse in Malibu. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch with you. A 19-point advantage for the undefeated Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Eric, you asked how Pepperdine wins the basketball game, and we talked about this is the first time we're seeing the zone. I like that, where you're trying to pack the orange jerseys inside the paint.
Double team Karnowski, splits right through it.
He's going to continue to score inside the paint. You don't contest him at the rim.
10 points on 5 of 7 shooting for the senior out of Poland. Good handle by Elijah Lee, but he lost it. Karnowski on the ground. He traveled. Gets an A for effort, though, Adrian, the big man.
That was a tree falling, man. That was a redwood falling. But look at Shemek Karnowski. Welcome back. Remember, he only played 5 games last year. The first post touch. He's got soft hands, finishing strong. And again, this is one-on-one coverage, no double team. In this league, you don't see a lot of 7-footers, so he doesn't have to use his up and under moves.
He hasn't had to do a lot of it tonight, but he is a really underrated passer as well, as Reyes gets the mid-range.
Yeah, well, you can pick your poison. That's a good shot by Reyes. He can score. But see, when Karnowski gets that deep post touch, you got to put him in the old-fashioned phone booth, crowd his space.
3 on 2, Major. Little leaner in the lane for Jeremy Major.
Elijah Lee stopped right about it there with the teardrop. And then you saw Major under control. Point guards making good decisions, moving fast on the break.
Williams, good seal underneath, got right inside Lamont Murray Jr.
Off of an assist from Karnowski.
Yep, there you go.
That's what he likes to do as well. He'll pass it to a teammate, and you can play through him. Coaching staff said they love giving him the basketball late in the shot clock because he'll make the right decision. Good drive.
Major with the right hand, a late whistle will send Jeremy Major to the line under 6 minutes to play here in the first.
Everything's been clicking, being patient, and then Karnowski passing up a good shot for a great shot to his teammates. They can play any style. They are a solid, well-coached, unflappable team.
Jeremy Major at the free throw line for Pepperdine. He came into tonight's game with 83 assists on the season. 17 more would give him 3 straight seasons with 100 assists. The last Pepperdine Wave to do it, Doug Christie, 1992.
I remember Doug Christie. He was my Laker. The what-if game. I'm just thinking about Pepperdine right now with all the pieces that they're missing. What if they were at full strength?
Well, Coach Marty Wilson, he talked about it. They would be much more fortified in the backcourt, although it's the front court tonight that's giving them issues, as Shemet Karnowski now with a dozen.
I can imagine the fans for Pepperdine saying, pick on somebody your own size. Well, sorry, there's nobody in the gym his own size right now. But also, you've got to try to get him from catching it so deep. Run at him, make him a passer.
Reyes, blow by, Karnowski, good recovery, but a whistle.
Solid job by Chris Reyes. Coaching staff, Coach Wilson, was comfortable with this matchup. He said, listen, Karnowski cannot check him right there. You just saw him hit a 15-footer and now get to the free throw line. But he said on the other side as well, we're going to have a problem with him if he catches it deep inside the paint.
Monday on ESPN, we've got another ACC Big 12 doubleheader for you. Number 17, Gonzaga, a big win today. They'll be on the road against Notre Dame at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then we head to Norman for a little bedlam as Oklahoma State takes on Oklahoma. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Jump ball and going back to Pepperdine.
Possession arrow in favor of the Waves here. 5 minutes to play in the opening half. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch with you in Malibu. Jeremy Major has been persistent driving the basketball tonight. He's taken 7 of the team's 19 field goal attempts. Reyes misses the one-hander. Got his own board and a putback. Good toughness by Reyes.
The difference a year makes. He was a role player with Utah last year. I covered him, and he wasn't making the impact. I didn't know he was as explosive, had so much game, but now we're seeing it, and he's a star here for Pepperdine.
Redshirt senior Reyes, as Perkins lost it off of his foot. Turnover on the Zags.
It's an excellent thing when you have an active big guy. Misses the first shot, but stays with it. That second jump in traffic, 50-50 ball, won't be denied. They're going to need him working hard inside the paint.
Reyes, a graduate transfer from Utah. He spent 2 years there, got his degree in communications, spent 1 year as a freshman at St. Mary's, then transferred out of D1 to Citrus College before finding his way to the Utes, and now his 5th year with Pepperdine. And that's another turnover on the Waves, their 8th.
Now, you don't have Karnowski in, so you've got a better matchup physically in the front line for Pepperdine. You've got to be active.
Perkins, well off the line. Missing short. Lamont Murray Jr. been very quiet. Just 2 points in this game so far, averaging just under 21. Major has been the major story on offense for what little offense the Waves have had here in the first.
He's quick. He can break down a good defender. He's done a good job getting inside the paint.
Perkins weaving inside and a friendly roll off the iron.
A lot of times for many years, the West Coast Conference has been known as a point guard league, and you're seeing excellent guard play. Perkins, 3 for 5, very efficient. Jeremy Major scoring well.
Pick and roll Reyes. Good feed underneath. Second effort not there for Lassen. And a loose ball whistle going against the Waves.
Playing Jeremy Major's quickness. He's known as the all-time assist leader, but he's scoring for him with the dribble. And then look at this pass. Karnowski inside the paint.
Gonzaga 37, Pepperdine 19. The Zags not missing a beat, just over 3 minutes to play here in the first. And Adrian, it's been pick and roll all night for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they're going to their bread and butter until you stop it. Williams with the easy basket inside, and then Nigel Williams-Goss with the alley-oop. They practiced that at shoot-around, that exact play, but it starts with the defense, breaking it down, points in the paint. They're at an advantage, 26-12.
26-12, Zach Collins, Shemek Karnowski, the two-headed monster for Gonzaga on the inside. Karnowski with 12 points, Collins with 8. They've combined to shoot 9 for 12 from the floor.
Good focus as well. Coming out, remember, they're the heavy favorites, but they're still taking high percentage shots inside the paint again. That's going to be 28-12. Pepperdine's offense isn't too bad. They've been missing makeable shots, but the story of the game right now is on the defensive end.
First bucket of the night for Jordan Matthews. Gonzaga practiced today at his alma mater, Santa Monica High School. He was happy to be in attendance, went to Santa Monica High School's game last night as well. And him and his brother Jonah.
Gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
Old gym. But a nice floor. That was a nice touch.
He was all smiles back at his alma mater this afternoon. And
when I played with the Lakers, I didn't know there was a Santa Monica High School. I'd go through there walking on the beach, but I didn't know it was a high school there.
So you got to come down to PCH. You got to get out of that Manhattan beach life that all the Lakers hang out at.
You got
to come out to the real people in Santa Monica.
I was Culver City, Fox Hills ball. I was a young fella, 23.
Under 2.5 minutes to play here in the first half.
Keep an eye on Matthews at the three-point line. That's a good matchup. Can't lose track of the shooters. Perkins and then Matthews.
Five on the shot clock. Perkins, no look, was a little bit behind Matthews with 1 on the shot clock. Rebound by Pepperdine.
Good hesitation. Good hesitation. Freeing up a shooter. That's a good play by Lee.
Elijah Lee, the freshman from Houston, actually homeschooled in Houston. Was a runner-up for top homeschool player of the year as a senior.
I didn't know they had that award.
Yes, it's the Pete Maravich Award, which I looked up, and Maravich was not homeschooled, so I'm not exactly sure why he's the namesake of that award.
My daughter's homeschooled, so I got to consider that one when she doesn't play basketball. That's a challenge.
Elijah Lee.
Hitch didn't like that shot because he was out of rhythm. Took himself out of rhythm on that pump fake.
Two and a half minutes since Pepperdine last scored. Gonzaga shooting 64% from the floor. After us, Iowa, Maryland, Oklahoma, Baylor on Sunday. The foul underneath.
I've been watching Gonzaga a lot this season and having the privilege of calling games. And against teams where they're expected to do well, they don't come out and disrespect them by just not being serious. They're focused. And then teams that are of the similar skill level, like Arizona, they come out the same way. I like what I see with them mentally and physically.
And what impresses me too, Adrian, I don't know if you've picked up on this as well, they're a high-powered scoring offense. As you see their Final Four quest, it's been 18 straight years in the tournament, 7 in the Sweet 16. They lost to 1 seed 7 times, so trying to be a 1 seed on their own this season. But they lead the West Coast Conference in points per game. But they're not a super quick scoring offense. They pick their moments. They take the shot clock down, and they're patient.
Well, they do want to play fast.
Yep.
So they get the ball to the free throw line extended in 3 seconds. So they'll take an opportunity, but because they're so smart and unflappable, they take the best shot and wear defense down. But they do like to play fast. They just don't take fast shots.
Right.
Well, we talked about that stat, 36 seconds left. Mark Few, 18 NCAA tournaments in a row. That's impressive.
Doesn't get much better than that. 81% win percentage. Quick timeout. Gonzaga up by 20. NBA Sunday Showcase Game of the Season on ABC, presented by Verizon Go 90. Should be a great one. LeBron and the Cavs host Russell Westbrook and OKC at 3:30 Eastern. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown. Sage and Jalen presented by Straight Talk Wireless at 3 and also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. Final 20 seconds here in the first half. Gonzaga has not trailed a basketball game in what now will be 10 straight halves. 1 on the shot clock for Perkins and a putback for Silas Nelson. The exclamation point on a dominant first half performance on the road against Pepperdine as Major's last second heave clinks off the backboard. And Gonzaga, key to their success so far tonight, points in the paint 30 to 12. And Gonzaga on top 43-21. Let's send it to Andy and Dallin in the studio. At the half, Gonzaga holding on to their largest lead of the night on the road against Pepperdine here in Malibu. 43-21, number 3 Gonzaga rolling on the road in Malibu. We welcome you back inside the Firestone Fieldhouse alongside Adrian Branch. I'm Eric Rothman, and for Gonzaga, Adrian, we talked about it off the top, but I would imagine this first half performance does nothing to change your mind that they're going to be number 1 next week.
No, they're doing their work, and they did their work early. The scouting report was to be aggressive and dominate inside the paint. You can see why Shimon Karnowski is shooting an impressive 71% in conference because he gets such deep post touches. Watch this, easy work. Williams Goss inside the paint. Collins with an and 1 in traffic. And then the big fella, the man mountain, Shimon Karnowski, comfortable 6 for 8. Everything has been clicking, but it started on impressive defense.
30 points in the paint for Gonzaga to Pepperdine's 12. You see the 2 big men, the tall trees. Karnowski with 12 on 6 of 8 shooting. Zach Collins, 10 points on 3 of 3 shooting. Adrian, you talked about it earlier, but it really can't be overstated. The combo of Karnowski and Collins is so difficult, especially for an undersized team like Pepperdine.
Yeah, you can't cut everything off. I like the preparation that you have with Gonzaga. They're serious-minded. They respect the opposition, and they're back to work again, points in the paint.
Jonathan Williams, that two-handed flush to start things off here in the second half. And last time Gonzaga was number 1 in the country, March 4th, 2013. They would love to be atop the polls. The start of next week with teams like Villanova, Kansas, Kentucky, Florida State all picking up losses this week, although Kansas on the road against Kentucky.
That was an impressive one there.
Maybe you could argue they're going to be at number 1. Could be a 1-2 Kansas-Gonzaga. Flip-flop them either way. I think you'd be right on the money. Tough shot for Nolan Taylor as the shot clock expires, and it's a violation.
Gonzaga with the ball movement. Williams Goss inside the paint, not being in a hurry, and then a good pass to a great pass. How about Williams, the transfer from Missouri, enjoying life as a role player for Gonzaga?
It just seems like everybody's a role player on this team.
Well, that's true. That's true. 7 players averaging over 8 points. No one strains the offense. They play well. They have chemistry, maturity. This is a solid team.
Matthews fading away. What I like about this team is offensive rebound for Karnowski and the kick out to Perkins. Loose ball tracked down by Elijah Lee.
Nice handle in traffic.
Murray Jr., a quiet first half for him, just 4 points. Gets the first field goal of the half for Pepperdine. Williams Goss trying to silence the crowd. And Lee gets bumped. Perkins hit him on the floor, so it'll be a side-out inbound.
Pepperdine going coast to coast. The freshman from Houston, Elijah Lee, to the leading scorer, Murray. They can score quickly. It hasn't been often, but this is a fun team when they get out in the open court.
Murray averaging 21 points per game this season, just 6 so far here, nearly 2 minutes in to the second half.
When you've got the ultimate green light, he doesn't take a lot of bad shots. He can make that. Oh, where has that been in the first half?
Pepperdine would love for him to catch fire here in the second. 3 of 8 shooting for Murray, and now a foul on the inside. As Nate Gehring was trying to post up Shemek Karnowski, got called for the push.
Lamar Murray has an excellent high release point. His legs generate so much power on the vertical, and then he has a soft touch like his dad.
Matthews, count it. And the foul, Jordan Matthews to the line. Just go back to your point, Adrian, about this being a balanced Gonzaga team. One stat that I love, they've only had 2 players this season. Jordan Matthews is not one of them. Nigel Williams-Goss and Jonathan Williams are the only 2 players on Gonzaga to have double-doubles this season. For as good as they are offensively and on the interior, you would think that there would be more double-doubles, but they're just so balanced.
Well, they do their work early, and a lot of times because they have a 25-point scoring margin, they're sitting down so you don't accumulate stats. But again, it's workmanlike. We saw them in shoot-around. That's a good shot by Reyes.
Offensive rebound and a touch put back by Lamont Murray Jr. 6 in the second half for Murray.
Lamont is so unselfish. He doesn't force his offense. He was 1 for 6 in the first half, but now he's come off with a fast start with 6 quick baskets.
Pick and roll, good head fake by Karnowski. The big man puts it on the deck.
Did I just see what I just saw? A 7'1", 300-pounder with the soft touch and soft feet.
Pirouetting on the baseline. He's been taking ballet in the offseason. Murray fading to his right, tough shot. But the ball handling ability of Elijah Lee to get that ball to Murray on the catch and release. Matthews short on the 3, Perkins, offensive rebound.
First time we've seen Shemek in a high screen and roll. Usually he's on the lower block.
Matthews weaving, hammered inside. And Matthews will go back to the charity stripe.
Watch what you said. Eric, the pirouette. Oh, no, I'm not going for the jumper. I'm going to give you the easy finger roll. He's a finesse man mountain. Got that from Dean, Utah. When I played in Australia, Dean was 6'11", 270 pounds, had the coolest nickname, Man Mountain.
I like it.
I think we're going to call Shemek that because he's a mountain of a man.
Well, nowadays, it would be a reference to Game of Thrones. You a fan of Game of Thrones? They have the Mountain, who is this big 8-foot guy. Maybe he's a little bit taller than Karnowski, but
I'm showing my age. I'm probably in bed sleep. What's the name of that?
Game of Thrones.
I know what the name is. Oh.
You conk out right after Jeopardy? Is that what it's at?
Respect your seniors. I ain't seen a citizen yet.
You know why I say? Because you can't hit me on live TV. What happens after the game now, I don't know.
Good ball
and
movement.
roll.
Solid ball movement.
Inside to Keenan and a turnover. Turnovers have been an issue. Number 9 on the night for Pepperdine.
Coming back with the same ball movement. Nobody fatiguing the offense. Still 18 seconds left on the shot clock because they get the ball up in 3 seconds.
Williams with the left hand. Karnowski, offensive rebound. Missed the gimme. Murray Jr. falling to the floor, wanted a whistle, didn't get it. Gonzaga not slowing the pace. Lee went for the steal, Matthews now for the 3. Frantic pace up and down here. The last 2 possessions is Gonzaga 52, Pepperdine 27 here in the second. A long history of tennis here at Pepperdine University. The men's tennis team winning the national championship in 2006, and the women this season currently ranked number 3. And what a day to talk tennis, because tonight, what an improbable run it's been for Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal. Men's championship match at the Australian Open tonight, Sunday morning, I should say, 3 a.m. Eastern, as you see Roger Federer Most majors all time. Rafa not too far behind with 14. You can watch that tonight on ESPN, and then an encore presentation at 9 a.m. tomorrow on ESPN2.
Djokovic moving up. He's got 12 of them. I'm a lefty, so I like Rafa. My son likes Roger.
Well,
he's a legend.
You played basketball down in Australia for a while. Did you get out and play some tennis while you were down there?
You know what? We played the games at the tennis court because it's during, right now, the Australian Open. And the summer's flipped. It's summertime down there right now when it's the part of winter for us up here. Didn't know that, did you? Stick with me after Jeopardy. You're going places, young man.
You're getting your tidbits.
Going places.
Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch here with you in Malibu. Jeremy Major airmailing that 3. Gonzaga on top, 52-27. They are 21-0 on the year, the only undefeated team remaining in college basketball, and an argument can be made that next week they should be ranked #1. We will see if the AP voters agree. Still some good teams in that top 5.
Yeah, you're talking about, actually, I think it starts on Sunday, so within 24 hours, possibly. But it's interesting. Coach Marty Wilson said, we recognize the moment. We recognize that this is possibly the #1 team in the country, and we're going to be ready. We're going to put our best foot forward. They have some pockets of doing positive things. They share the basketball. Majors is legit. He's quick. Murray can score. But they've got to help that good offense by solid defense. It hadn't been consistent enough to be competitive so far in this game.
Collins picks up his 3rd foul. As Pepperdine with the basketball, the Waves 6-15 this season, really decimated by injuries.
Oh, yeah, that's been the story of Pepperdine. And we asked Coach Wilson, what have you learned about yourself? Because he's built on toughness. He was a former point guard here. Toughness and rebounding, and he said, I learned patience.
Yep.
I've learned patience about myself.
Injuries, one of the things a coach cannot control. Williams-Goss using that left shoulder to lean in on Jonathan Allen for the bucket.
He has impressed me with his ability to read the defense. Nigel Williams-Goss has mastered the game of college basketball at the college level with his ability knowing when to call his number and when to set up a teammate.
Williams-Goss, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists tonight. As Lamont Murray Jr. just 4 points in the first half, now 8 here in the second.
Lots to love about Lamont Murray. Does not take bad shots for a leading scorer in conference.
Silas Melson, the 3-pointer for the junior out of Portland.
Melson playing with so much confidence. He's not in competition with Perkins. He's not in competition with his teammates. He lives in the moment, takes the challenge. Now he's defending the best score in conference, doing the dirty work.
9-2 run for Gonzaga. These two teams have combined to shoot just 2 of 20 from 3-point range. Make it 2 of 21. Pepperdine has yet to make a 3-point bucket. And it's surprising, at least on Gonzaga's end, because Pepperdine is one of the worst teams in the nation in terms of 3-point defense. Gonzaga not able to score on the perimeter so much tonight, but it's been the interior play, the points in the paint. Everything has run through Collins or Shemet-Karnowski.
Now watch Murray. Doesn't force his offense, but the elevation, the control, a natural score. And then Melson coming back. He's about their 5th option, their 6th option, but when you can knock down a shot, shooting with confidence, it's just from the flow of the offense.
Melson, floater in the lane, 5 straight for Silas Melson.
You've seen Perkins make that shot. You've seen Williams-Goss make that shot. Picked up the basket later, didn't see the basket.
Perkins has to save it on the baseline. Bobbled around and out of bounds, will stay with the Zags.
That shot from Lamont Murray was a Moses Malone shot. Believe it or not, the Hall of Famer Moses Malone would not see the basket sometimes shooting. He was close to the rim. But I remember 2 shots playing against. I say, man, he didn't even see the rim and made him.
Heck of a career for not seeing the basket every time he shot. Pick and roll. Collins, the 2-hand slam. Pick and roll's been there all night for Gonzaga, Adrian.
The floor spacing, the patience, and everything clicking. It's chemistry for Gonzaga.
40 points in the paint for the Zags, 61 overall, a commanding lead. The Zags working the pick and roll. Collins, the freshman, finishing off. The Gonzaga Bulldogs not giving an inch to the Pepperdine Waves. The undefeated Zags up 61-29 nearing the midway point of the second. Nigel Williams-Goss has just been so efficient this entire season.
He's putting himself right now, the screen and roll, undeterred, the bullet pass for Collins coming off the bench for the slam dunk. He's putting himself in right here as an MVP in his league. Look at this list right here. There's a lot of players, but Williams-Goss, 15 points and 4 assists. We got 14 right there, but it's 4 assists a game. Jalen Brunson, Frank Mason III, you see him Barry, and then my man Melo Trimble. I think these guys are some of the absolute best decision makers in college basketball.
Had to get your Maryland guy in there, right?
Well, they're in first place in the Big Ten. Please, give them some respect.
And also, for college basketball fans, very disappointing about Mo Watson's injury as well for Creighton, because one of the best decision makers in the country, leader in assists in the NCAA. Reyes gets the bucket, but Nigel Williams-Goss, you've talked about it before, and you were talking to Coach Few about it today. It's the decision-making, it's the leadership, which is impressive because it's his only season with the team.
Well, he wants to do two things. He wants to win, but he wants to be an All-American on the court and also a psychology major, 3.8. He went right here, called his number. He wants to be an All-American, academic All-American.
He's already graduated. He's got his degree. He's going for his master's now. Putting on a clinic here tonight, 10 points on 5 of 8 shooting.
Well, Coach Few says he tries to mark every category, assists, rebounds. He has a clock inside of his head, and he's always talking. So that's one position Coach Few doesn't have to coach.
Reyes, the baby hook, swatted by Collins.
That's an excellent job by Collins, defending without fouling.
Perkins, no look. Karnowski with the left.
Shimmick Karnowski running the floor, catching the easy basket. He's got soft hands.
Good idea with the pick and roll. Reyes was just a step in front of the pass. Gonzaga up 34 midway through the second. And earlier today had a chance to go all access with LA native and Gonzaga guard Jordan Matthews at his alma mater. Eric Rothman here with Jordan Matthews, and Jordan, Gonzaga practicing today here at your alma mater, Santa Monica High School. What's it like being back?
It's special. I really enjoy it. Getting a chance to come back where I made a lot of memories and create new ones with my teammates is something I'm really enjoying.
Is there one distinct memory you have being back in this building?
Yeah, we played Palisades High School in the CIF semifinals, state semifinals, and it was packed. I mean, you couldn't find a seat in here. It was the best game I've ever had, so it was a lot of fun.
Remember your stat line?
41 points, that's all I remember.
That's not
41,
too bad.
41 and a W.
Shooters always remember the 40-point performances,
That was
right?
impressive. That's a lot to remember. 41 and a W.
Matthews and his brother Jonah is now a freshman at USC and playing very well and entering into the starting lineup for the Trojans as a freshman. Both played at Santa Monica High School for the Vikings. Matthews tonight with 7 points as Pepperdine off the turnover, missing the runner by Knox Helms.
First time we're seeing Knox in the game.
Zach Collins, elevation for the slam.
Everything is on display for Gonzaga right now. We've seen the half-court grinded out with Shimmick Karnowski. We're seeing the open flow, the alley-oop dunks. Nigel Williams-Goss controlling the game. Here he is again.
On the defensive end this time, spinning and finding the vision at the front of the hoop.
This team has everything clicking. It's a hungry team. It's aware of its responsibility, and they've shown themselves well, coming out, dominating. The points in the paint has fatigued the Waves right now in this game.
Gonzaga has made their last 8 field goal attempts. It's been over 2 minutes since Pepperdine got their last bucket. Knox Helms changes that, the freshman from Texas.
There's few clips that you would keep in this game, and that was one of them. Elijah Lee breaking it down and then driving inside the lane, kicking it out to the three-point shooter and Knox. That was a thing of beauty. You keep that. Look at that. Splitting the double team. Low under control. His shoulders are lower than the defender's hips, and then passing it to his shooter. That was beautiful. You keep that one right there.
Helms his first bucket for Gonzaga. Both Collins and Karnowski take a seat on the bench. Freshman Rui Hachimura from Japan has the basketball now. His first appearance in tonight's ball game.
NBA scouts love Rui. This young man from Japan, 6'8", explosive, is going to be one of the next stars in line as he continues to develop.
Jonathan Williams, the turnaround for his 8th point.
Good call. Matthews fouled him on the wrist. I like what I'm seeing, Eric, from little Elijah. He's quick and explosive.
Rui Hachimura, the freshman from Japan. His mother Japanese, his father from West Africa. One of the interesting points of Rui Hachimura's freshman year here at Gonzaga, he didn't speak any English coming into the season. So for the most of training camp and the first half of the season, he was missing half of every practice to go take English as a second language courses, just so he could pick up what coaches and players were saying.
Usually you learn English from Beyonce or some of the movies or something like that. So I'm impressed that he came on over, but nice proportion, 6'8", about 220 pounds, explosive, long arms, soft touch. Keep an eye on this young guy.
Just the 5th Japanese-born player in the history of Division I basketball. Nelson head down. Double team, flips it to Williams. Hachimura tips it in.
Gifted, you can't teach that. He's got a natural knack for the ball, a sense of timing, explosive leaper. Again, I was sitting with the same scouts that were looking at Zach Collins and saying Hachimura and Zach Collins are the best NBA prospects on the team.
Hachimura today at practice was kind of mumbling on defense, and his teammates were yelling at him, telling him to speak up, and he spoke up, said a complete sentence in perfect English, and got a standing ovation from his teammates at Santa Monica High School at shoot-around today.
I like it. I like it. This is whether the ball movement. Alberts, good shot.
Alberts,
nothing's forced.
Redshirt sophomore, just around the corner. Northridge, and a Euro step by Lee, rejected by Hachimura. Up ahead, Nelson. A block on the other end by Reyes, and a whistle.
Good basketball, playing hard. But to start that fast break off of Rui in traffic.
Rui Hachimura from Japan on the defensive end. Get out of here. Another dominant performance for Gonzaga in West Coast Conference play. Up by a bundle on the Waves here under 8 minutes to play in the second half in Malibu. And Gonzaga, known for their international recruiting. Rui Hachimura from Japan, Karnowski, Poland, Jacob Larson, who's injured, out for the season, from Denmark, Tilly from France, missing tonight's game with a sprained ankle, and Dustin Triano coming off the bench from Canada. Not only that, Adrian, they have players from 9 different states in the U.S. and only 1 player from their home state. So they get out all over the place.
Success breeds success, and you talk about players that have already been through the program as well. Cal Wiltshire, Kelly Olynyk, Pangos, Sabonis, first-round draft pick. So this is a history of where you come in, you get a wonderful education, you get better, and you play for a coach that wins over 80% of his games.
Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch with you in Malibu. Gonzaga with a win tonight. It would be the longest winning streak in school history, 22 wins in a row.
You're seeing the chemistry, the shoot-around was there. Strong drive by Reyes, excellent drive.
And one opportunity for the senior Reyes.
When you talk about fundamental basketball, you want to get a strong base and get in a triple threat position, ready to pass it, shoot it, or dribble it. Reyes right here, strong. Again, those shoulders were lower than his armpit when you talk about with Rui, and then he explodes up.
Reyes top 10 in the West Coast Conference in points, rebounds, blocks, and field goal percentage per game. Very efficient in what will be his only season with the Waves as a graduate transfer. Firestone Fieldhouse. Good crowd, even though the kids are still on winter break, as Rui Hachimura gets a 3-point opportunity from the free throw line.
It's going to be fun watching Rui. Strong base right here, going up. with a nice touch. He's got long arms. He can carry 235 pounds on that base.
Early in the season, there was some talk within Gonzaga if they were going to redshirt Rui, but for how far along he was when he showed up to training camp and how fit he was and how he fits into this Gonzaga scheme, they just couldn't find a way to sit him out for the year.
Yeah, he's got talent. You can't deny his explosiveness. He challenges shots at the rim. He can be off base and still contest the shot. This is a good matchup against the freshman going against the senior in Reyes.
Kind of reminds me, Hachimura, of a less polished freshman version of Justin Patton from Creighton. Although Patton is a freshman, Patton getting a lot more minutes with Creighton. Hachimura, very similar style of player.
That's a good point. That's a good one. That's fair.
Monday on ESPN, we've got another ACC Big 12 doubleheader for you. Number 17, Duke. Boy, a big win today. Buzzer beater. At the end, Luke Kennard, 30 points in the second half. They'll take on Notre Dame at 7 Eastern. Then we head to Norman as Oklahoma State takes on Oklahoma. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN. Streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
Talk about that Duke win. That was a credible win for them. They had a meeting at Coach K's house, and they said, get out the practice court, take off the jerseys. And so this might jumpstart the second half of their season going into February.
Silas Melson, you saw the graphic, just 2 3-pointers for Gonzaga as a team. As Melson gets the third one there, he's got 2 of the team's 3. Rejection underneath Jeremy Jones, the redshirt sophomore, getting some playing time. And Jones tipping in the missed shot by Alberts.
Well, they can do no wrong on both ends of the floor. That was the second time we've seen a block shot trigger a fast break. Rui Hachimura did it earlier. And then you just saw again Collins blocking shots and getting them running out. There's another block.
Up ahead to Melson.
Fourth shot. That's the kind of getting yours.
Heat check Silas Melson.
Yeah, I've been there myself.
3 for 3 from 3 tonight.
I've been there myself. Kind of break off the play and go ahead and see what I'm feeling.
Silas Melson is feeling it, and whatever it is, it's working for Gonzaga. Quick timeout for Pepperdine.
Good job by Jones, blocking a shot by Lee, and then rewarding his own effort, the second shot opportunities. Then on the perimeter, getting yours. The game's gotten away, and Melson goes in there, first shot opportunities. You don't see that a lot, but that was a good one.
Gonzaga ranked in the top 5 in their history from 2003 on. The issue has been advancing past the Elite 8. Coach Few, even though he's had 17 straight years in the tournament, never a Final Four, could be a season this year with a balanced crew that they get it done.
You and I talked about it at shoot-around, and he said, Adrian, that's a good point, where I said, Coach, you were one Robert Sacre away when he had Pangos and those guys, Josh Heifeld. And then last year, they were one Shemek Karnowski, a big guy, away from going to the Final Four, I thought, because of the injury bug. Right now, everyone is playing well. They're hungry, they're mature, and they're playing with a little edge. They were saying with Olenek, back when they were such a high seed, they had the mindset of apologizing. Not with this group right now. They're like, bring it on. We're ready for you.
Mentioned it earlier, but 21 straight wins coming into tonight. One more win would give them their longest winning streak as a program. And Gonzaga has just torn up the West Coast Conference.
Yeah. You know, Eric, I don't believe in luck. I believe that they put themselves in a position. My coach, Lefty Drizel, who's had tremendous success, Hall of Fame, would say the harder you work, the luckier you get. John Wooden would say chance favors the prepared. They're prepared.
You and I will be in Provo on Thursday as Gonzaga takes on BYU in BYU. Do you think that that's a potential loss? That's a tough environment to play in on the road if you're Gonzaga.
Well, let's go back with this one. It should be a more competitive game, a lot more competitive. You've got Eric Mika, who's positioning himself possibly as a Player of the Year candidate, over 20 points and double-doubles. And they're an older group as well. You've got freshmen out here for Pepperdine trying to figure it out. A lot of players from BYU go on their 2-year Mormon mission and come back and have experience. So this will be a lot more competitive, I believe.
Remaining schedule for Gonzaga at BYU on Thursday, Santa Clara, LMU. Then the big matchup against number 21, St. Mary's on the road in Northern California on the 11th. And they finish the season off at home against BYU. And this is a team that in the past 10 days, because of scheduling due to a snowstorm in the game against Portland, they've played 5 games in 10 days. Gonzaga not showing any signs of being tired here tonight.
It was a veteran group. They didn't do a lot of running at shoot-around. It was more walking and technical. They're in mid-season form right now. You've got a lot of games, and Coach Few can trust them. He can trust Shemek Karnowski. You know what you're going to get from Nelson. You know what you're going to get from Williams-Goss.
Brian Alberts, the finger roll. And in a win like this, too, Adrian, and in a lead like this, they can rest their starters like they're doing now.
When I was with the Lakers, 1987, I was a rookie, and there were some games I knew that was going to be a blowout. At the time, Sacramento and Denver, I was getting my rest the night before because I knew I was going to play the whole fourth quarter. And a lot of things, Gonzaga had control of this game. I don't think they trailed at all in this game.
They have not, and they have not trailed
for the last, what?
10.5 halves.
There
so
we
that's
go.
5 full games, plus another half if they win out here. I would assume that Gonzaga is not going to give up a 50-point lead here in the final 4 minutes.
And that means it's workmanlike. They come out, they take it seriously. The first time I ever heard this was from Pat Riley. Good block.
Watching more of the goaltend.
It was pretty watching it anyway. but he said the best respect you can have for an opponent is to play hard against them.
And the second unit is playing hard here in some pickup minutes. Brian Alberts making a strong case. Pepperdine up big. It's team effort for Gonzaga on the road against Pepperdine. 9 players have 5 points or more for the Zags. Adrian, you've talked about it, just a workman-like approach for the Bulldogs.
Another day at the office. You're seeing the shot distribution. Everyone is sharing the basketball. You have tremendous success, 61% for the game. Shemek Karnowski made a statement early on, and they never trailed, as you mentioned earlier.
Last 20 years, these are the teams that have finished the season undefeated and where they went in the tournament. Kentucky, Wichita State, and St. Joe's all finishing undefeated. Final 4, second round, and Elite 8 respectively. Adrian, we talked about will Gonzaga be ranked #1 when this week's rankings come out. You've heard a lot of critics say, well, they shouldn't because of the conference that they play in. Maybe not one of the best conferences as a mid-major. What do you say to that as you're yawning?
Wake me up. They said that with John Calipari, with Derrick Rose. Remember, they would wear out their conference, and they weren't a Power 5 conference at the time. Jameer Nelson, as we mentioned earlier, as well, back in 04. So they're doing their work. They put themselves in a position to be recognized as the #1 team in the nation in my book.
Nolan Taylor, the turnaround. Gonzaga tonight, 50 points from their starters, 44 points from their bench.
Then we talk about the Mark Few factor as well. This team has been unprecedented where they went, as you mentioned, coming out of halftime, unprecedented 10-0 in non-conference. That was a surprise to me, though, with all those good teams that he's had over the years.
First time his teams have gone undefeated in non-conference, and now what will be the longest winning streak in program history with a win tonight.
If you look at what Pepperdine can take from this, one, you've got experience. So those freshmen, Taylor, I like what I see in Lee, the point guard. They're getting some experience. Now you're taking your lumps. You're taking your lumps, but they've got a foundation that this West Coast Conference is unforgiving. If you're not at full strength, it's unforgiving.
Absolutely is. Pepperdine won on Thursday versus Portland. That snapped a 5-game losing streak. Gonzaga, well, when you got numbers like that, I don't know how you beat them.
Yeah, it's healthy. Strength of schedule, we're not kidding ourselves. Okay, it's not the strongest schedule, but when you put somebody with a strong schedule, Tennessee, Iowa State, St. Mary's, and they've still done their work and won basketball games.
I would love to see a rematch of Gonzaga-Arizona in the tournament with how Arizona is now starting to peak. They've gotten healthy.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I would love to see that. Come on, a West Coast battle.
Arizona got to go through UCLA possibly 2 to 3 more times.
They already got one win.
The return, they got to go against the return UCLA game at Arizona, and then the conference, Pac-12 conference, and then if they meet again in the Elite Eight or possibly Final Four, they've got 3 more times. That's not the game I want to see.
What's the game you want to see?
I want to see Gonzaga and UCLA. I want to see half of that. I want to see Nigel Williams-Goss going against Lonzo Ball and everything else. But out here on the West Coast, they represent their conferences. They represent the game of basketball well.
Under 2 minutes to play here in Pepperdine.
You're going to get that a few more times. UCLA and Arizona a few more times.
Oh, absolutely. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what Gonzaga does the remainder of this season. Can they stay undefeated on the road against BYU and St. Mary's? 2 tough tasks ahead for the Zags.
Still playing hard, 1:24, but I still like what I see in Pepperdine. Playing with force.
22 straight with the win tonight for Gonzaga, tied for the longest winning streak in school history. And what will be Gonzaga's 19th straight trip to the NCAA tournament.
Interesting thing, again, finishing up, they look like they're going to win. I never like to say it until it's over. I really don't. But it's not like they're too high or too low. Emotionally, they came in here with the balanced, workmanlike performance, and then as they leave in a nice, warm, intimate setting, they're going to go out there and not be emotionally taxed as well.
The question is nationally, will they be number 1? Last time Gonzaga was number 1, March 4th, 2013. I'm thinking it's going to come down to Kansas and Gonzaga in the rankings coming out as Edwards, the SWAT. Everybody on Gonzaga's bench getting into the action tonight.
That's the 8th block in this game, and all of them have been timely.
Under 30 seconds to play.
Skilled. Turn around.
Mark Few, what a job he's done. 22-0 for his team. And they are confident, they are collected, and it looks like they are poised to continue this streak as long as their play allows. It'll be tough going on the road on Thursday against BYU. But the Zags here tonight, a commanding and convincing win against the Pepperdine Waves.
Workmanlike performance and no injuries. Great momentum. Great job working both sides of the floor.
Longest winning streak in school history. Gonzaga 22-0. Our final from Malibu, 96-49 coming up next. We've got the latest on a great day of college hoops on College Basketball Live. For Adrian Branch, I'm Eric Rothman saying so long from Malibu. We'll see you next time, everybody.